Hey guys, in this video I want to look at, is eating animal meat bad for you and why that might be the case. Alright, so not a lot of people really think about eating meat, especially in the US, as far as being a health concern. I know I myself just went years and years eating, plenty of meat, and I was actually told that meat was good for you. We're going to look at what the science actually says. In this video, this isn't going to be as much of a moral discussion of animal rights or anything, but we're just going to look at the health of us individually when we do eat meat, and if meat might actually be bad for us and contribute to certain diseases. So we'll jump into that. Alright, so what we need to look at is a doctor named Colin Campbell. He did his research in nutrition, and he looked at, well, first he was going over to Asian countries, and he was noticing that regions which were less affluent and were eating less meat actually had lower cases of cancer rates. Actually, he noticed the reverse of that. He saw that where he was, there were regions that were more affluent and richer around where he was studying that were actually having higher rates of cancer. And it was kind of a contradiction because he was sent in by the government to actually improve the health of individuals by giving them more protein, because the protein myth is that we need protein to be healthier. So he started to question that. Is that really true? And so he did his own research, and what he found was pretty remarkable. Now, he found that, can't necessarily say if animal protein actually causes cancer, but what he did find was very interesting. He found that animal protein, when it was consumed at a rate of higher than 5% of the diet, actually turned on a gene which allowed cancer to multiply in the body. All right, but if animal protein intake was kept under this 5% threshold level, the cancer was silenced. That is, the cancer didn't grow at all. It didn't reproduce. So that was pretty remarkable. And that was kind of groundbreaking in science, because before that in medicine, there was a theory that basically cancer begins through genes, that it's all genetic. But what he found and was saying in his research is that no, it's not genetic, it's environmental, which means we're not just subject to our genetics and what we receive through our genes, but our environment has a huge influence on our on getting cancer, as well as the fact that what you eat, basically what you eat, has a tremendous effect on cancer rates, and that we can silence that cancer rates by consuming less or no animal protein. All right, so that was pretty groundbreaking. And it was not just cancer, but he also found, they did the China study, and they found that higher rates of meat and animal-based foods, higher rates of those intakes were leading to other higher rates of diseases, like diabetes, other chronic diseases. So anyway, he found that it was affecting not just cancer, but all of these chronic diseases were being affected by what we eat, and animal protein and animal foods was the basic instigator, right? And he found, when he was teaching people to go on on a plant-based diet and cut out their meat intake or drastically reduce it, as well as dairy and other animal products. Like, people were seeing miraculous results. You know, they were losing lots of weight and coming off, you know, medications they might have been on for a lot of time. Obviously, you're going to lower your cholesterol. If you're diabetic, it's going to help with your blood sugar levels. And also, there's been some recent studies. Yale did a study because they tend to advocate for eating less meat as well. And they had a study where they found that the vegan diet, people on the vegan diet, overweight people on the vegan diet lost substantially more weight than even people on a controlled diet where they were just allowed to diet as they wanted to. And one of the reasons is that meat and animal products have a lot more calories, and you're not getting as much fiber. And the benefit of fiber is it helps us feel more full and more satisfied, and also it has a thermic effect, which means our body actually burns more calories just digesting fiber. It's like 10% more calories. And so they were eating, I think on average, 130 calories a day less without even really making any additional effort beyond the controlled diet group. So that shows that by cutting out animal products and eating less meat, you can also control your weight a lot better. And we know that weight and being overweight can be tied in a lot with chronic diseases, things like diabetes. So anytime we can manage our weight, can control our weight, which helps when we're not eating as much meat or animal products, that is a win as well. All right, so anyways, hopefully I explained in this video if eating meat might potentially be bad for us, and the science seems to say that it is. One more thing too is they also, when they look at the blue zones, which are the groups of people who live the longest and have the least amount of disease, and also have the highest number of people who live to be over 100 years old, they also found that those groups are predominantly plant-based and generally consume less than 5% of their diet in animal products. So even though they weren't trying to be vegetarian or plant-based in order to improve their health, that was just like their way of living. But they found that, oddly enough, these people who were eating very little amounts of meat and animal products were actually healthier and living longer than people elsewhere. So that's another thing to consider. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching. Please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to get more great content. We're going to talk about plant-based diet and different plant foods that we can eat. And as I get more and more subscribers, I'll try to make more and more videos, and let me know what you want to see videos on as well, as I really appreciate you taking the time to watch and to subscribe and share this. And until the next one, thanks, guys.